And thank you, Rachel, for actually going through the main work, like why do we do this or what type of services that you can do through the notebook. And so my whole presentation will be just to give you a live demo. And those of you who live in the ecosystem world, yeah, you can have the QR code and probably open that into your laptop. Does anyone need a minute to open the notebook, or is there anyone who hasn't, like if you're planning to follow along, who hasn't already opened the notebook yet? Just show me your hand, then I'll just wait for a minute. Okay. So I don't see a hand, so I'll just move along. So when you log into a notebook, you'll see that it's asking for you to sign with CI logon. So, and you can sign in using your institutional verification, Google, GitHub, Orchid, OrchID. So yeah, we have several modes of authentication so that you can get access to the notebook. And when you verify your authentication, then for this tutorial or for this demo, we're just using a basic notebook, but there are other options as well. And let me actually go to the note. So I have to, and I opened that earlier so that I don't have to do that in one. So, and it's not helping. Hopefully, let's see. Oh, actually, do I have another one? Never mind. No. So you guys will have to bear with me for a minute, hopefully. And if it doesn't load up, then I do have the backup slides to talk about like how or what are the things that you can do. Hopefully you'll be able to do a demo within the time. I need to stop myself. Yep, it's loading. Okay, finally. Yeah, I mean, let me just increase the font size. Sorry. I don't know a shortcut to that. Sorry for that. Does the font size look okay? Sort of. Okay, thank you. So spoiler alert, who am I? Everyone is Jovian. So this is the guest account. Like everyone, if you don't have a full account with us, if you log into the notebook, everyone would be a Jovian. And as Rachel mentioned, that when you are logged into a guest account, you get a small set of tools. So if I do a Condor status, then it's just showing you like, yeah, we have access to only one node. And for researchers or campus champions, yeah, we do have different training materials or different tutorials that you can use. And I'll be doing one of the tutorials from all the tutorials that we have. And I'm typing by mistake. I'm intentionally doing a typo so that you can see like what type of different tutorials that we have. So yeah, it's showing you all of the different tutorial lists that we have. And on the backend side, it's just doing a git clone. So whatever topic that may be of interest to you, you can just type tutorial and then the command. So for these purposes, for today's demo, I'll be doing a scaling up R. So let me just type tutorial, scaling up. Oops. And if I press enter, so on the backend side, it's just working, it's just downloading it, cloning the repository that we have on GitHub. And I should see a folder popping up very soon in here. Yep, so I have the tutorial scaling up our folder in here. And if I do ls, so let me go. Using tab completion, I'm going to the tutorial scaling up our folder that I just downloaded. And I can also see all the files. So for the user, they can interact using a GUI interface. And thanks to Christina, she has already created a notebook for us in here. So I'm just opening that notebook. And this tutorial is just for demo purposes, and I have run through the commands several times. That's why you're seeing all of those things like, yeah, the output of each of the commands is already listed. But for your case, the scenario might be like, yeah, you just have the command that you have to run from the Jupyter Notebook. So if I run that, yeah, so we do have an R script that's just doing a Monte Carlo estimation of pi. For tutorial purposes, we go through that with the different trainings that we do every month. And if you scroll down that notebook, yeah, you can see that, yeah, we also have created a container submit file. I'm just running it. If you don't have the whole submit file that looks like. So as for R packages, we provide R through a container. So in order to submit the file, yeah, we're just saying that we're using the container image and we are asking for a version of R 3.5.0, which is an older one, but we do have some newer one as well, I think. And for our case, or for this tutorial, we have all of the parameters filled up. But for some of the trainings that we do, we intentionally leave some of the parameters blank. So whenever we are going through a training, the user can actually interact with the submit file. So yeah, like user can double click and open, and they can have an interface that they can all interact with the keyboard and mouse and just fill up the required lines or required arguments. So for this one, I'm sorry, I skipped through this one. In Christina's talk, Christina was mentioning AppTainer. So we do have AppTainer actually installed in the Jupyter Notebook as well. So I'm just copying that. And I will be running the R container directly from the node. So if I press enter, so yeah, the singularity. So I'm into the container singularity or AppTainer environment. And if I type R, so right now I'm in R environment, and if I just do R version, so this would be helpful for the user, like when they're using their own containers or they have their own software, they can just look for not run directly data intensive or computational intensive jobs, but just to check that, yeah, whether their container or the software package that they're planning to run on the OSPool have the required set of jobs, required set of library functions that they need. Okay, so let me wait. I don't want to save my workspace, no. And in here, this is a very small test or toy problem, so we can directly run it from the notebook. That shouldn't be any problem. So I'm planning to run the Monte Carlo Pi, this script directly on the notebook. And this just takes an argument and it gives you an estimated value of the pi. And now let me exit from the singularity or AppTainer. The purpose was just to show you that, yeah, we have the AppTainer singularity installed. So yeah, you can, before submitting your job to the whole pool or the OSPool, yeah, you can just test your jobs locally on the access point using some toy data, obviously. Okay. So let me go back to the README file, notebook file. And if I do control submit, yeah, it will tell us like 100 jobs have been submitted to the cluster one. For you, because the cluster number may be different. Yeah, based on we have queue 100, so it will be submitting 100 jobs. And if we watch at control Q, yeah, 13 of them are running, and we can also interact through the terminal as well. The command that Christina had on her slide, control watch -Q, so we can track in real time how many jobs are running or what's the status of the jobs that we submitted. And meanwhile it is running, I'd like to point out that through the notebook, as we just opened the basic one, but we had several type of notebooks. So whenever you are doing a data or you are submitting your jobs on the OSPool, you have the data back and you want to do some post-processing. So you can use or take advantage of those notebooks and do some post-processing in the access point. So for example, we also have a post-processing script in here that just sums or takes the average of the whole pi output that we're getting from the 100 jobs, and it would give us a grand average. And this is showing the results in here because I have run that multiple times. That's why it has that. But we'll just wait for the process to finish. So it's done. Oh. Yeah, so in here I can see like, yeah, 33 are idle, and it updates every 2 seconds. Yeah, most of you probably already know that. And I know that I'm standing between you and lunch, so hopefully it will be done within 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. And while it's running, yeah, if you have any more questions, short questions, yeah, that would be a very good time for us. Yes, Brian.
You're switching back and forth between the command line and the notebook. Yes. I'm assuming you're doing this so that the notebook doesn't get cluttered up, right? Because you could, everything you put on the command line, you could also put in the notebook. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. And I'm the main idea is to like show the user, like, yeah, for the instructor, like if you already have a notebook, you can create your own notebook so that you can teach the students, the participants. Thank you. And I think everything is done. So if I go back to my notebook and do a control queue, it shouldn't, yeah, it's not saying that anything is in the queue. So at the very end, we have a post-processing script, so if you just run that. So at the very end, it would go through the 100 output files and gives you a grand average. So this was a very short demo using a notebook that you would have get access to that. Okay. And I also have another notebook that I have full access to. Let me see. Hopefully, do I have to run it? Okay. So just to give you a demo. So for that notebook that I had, it's just from a guest account. So everyone is Jovian. And if you don't have an account, you'll have the same thing. But this is one that I have access to the full OSPool account, and it's showing me, yeah, everyone, my username is, it's actually showing me when I type who am I, my username. And if I run a condor status in here, it will take some seconds, but yeah, it would print up like, yeah, all the resources that you could get access to. So if you want more nodes, yeah, get a full account with us. And also, just out of curiosity, as we are hearing more about the GPUs, so yeah, that's the amount of GPUs that we have, and it probably supports Frank's statement. Like, yeah, there's all the GPUs that we have right now, majority of them are unclaimed. And just to point out or add one more point to that, the pool is dynamic, so don't take everything as a hard and fast value.